As preppers, sometimes you can spend a gob of money on gear, you know what I'm saying? But sometimes you just need the basics, emergency items for very quick emergencies like maybe disasters and such. And guess what? It's Prime Day. So now is the perfect time to pick up these items at a discount and be ready for any emergency. Now I'll link all these below. In fact, you can even skip the video if you wanted to and just go through the links and see what I have on there. But I'm going to show you all these items and why they're the best for emergencies. Water is essential for life, obviously. Instead of just simply having a straw to drink out of from a creek, having one of these water gravity bags works very well, so it does the work for you while you sit back and wait. Of course, having a place to put that water is essential, so here's a 1,000-liter water tank. A lot of people simply just put these in their bathtubs and holds pretty much all the water you can use for a long time. Fantastic. And if you want to look at removing biological organisms, then you can simply just use these water purification tablets. Here's a 100-pack of these. These work very well. And you can keep them at home, put them in your bags, whatever you need, so that way you'll always have water that will not make you sick. And quick emergency lighting is essential too. You take these and simply plug them in all over your house and turn them on. And when your power goes out, they automatically turn on and become flashlights your family can grab. Perfect for emergencies or if you need to get out of the house very quickly. And of course, we have a wide array of flashlights. I prefer rechargeable ones, so that way I can keep them charged up my solar generator. I don't have to worry about fumbling for batteries. This is a really big one. It works great for obviously lighting up what you need to, but also it's tactical in case you need to, obviously take care of business, somebody breaking in your home. And it's a really nice flashlight and does the job very well. Or perhaps you need a smaller one. This one is also LED, also rechargeable. Fantastic flashlight, super bright, by the way. And of course, trying to get work done, it's tough to hold a flashlight. So we have these rechargeable headlamps. Also has red mode on there for perfect for night vision. And it's a 2-pack for $11. I mentioned these on the channel many, many times. These are great because it simply just clips onto whatever you need it to. It's a super bright light and has lots of other features too. Perfect for anybody's jacket or bag to be able to have it wherever and whenever you need it. And for my family, we have lots of these. They're both crank and solar. I like to simply just put them in my windowsill and let the solar do its job. But that way they work great, especially for kids, always having these flashlights on hand to be able to use it for emergencies. I have lots of these as well. It's not simply just a flashlight, but a solar bank can charge your phone up too. Same thing, I just let them sit in the sun and it keeps them nice and charged up, and we have these for the whole family. Something else we have for the whole family are these incredibly bright lanterns. Now, these are not rechargeable, but I am amazed in how bright these are, and my kids always use these for everything around the house. For those lanterns or anything else that needs batteries, how about some rechargeable batteries? These are great. That way you can keep all your battery-powered devices going and not having to fumble again for disposable batteries. And I talk about this all the time. It is my favorite radio. Super inexpensive, solar-powered crank radio. Solar works better. Has flashlights, can charge your phone, etc. But for $28.79, it's a great radio. We listen to ours all the time, but you don't want to be cut off in a disaster. Instead, be able to have life-saving information coming in through this radio. Many people choose to have household emergency candles. This is 24 of them for $8. That's a really good deal. I always caution though, and I warn against candles because fires can start, but having the candles, even for a little warmth and ambiance, can do very well. Now let's shift to food for just a moment. Here we have just a classic KitchenAid can opener. You do not want to get caught without a can opener. So $9.99, have a few of these in stock, and of course it has a little bottle opener too, so you can have a nice little disaster brewski. And even though the KitchenAid can opener is nice, easy on the hands, I have lots of these P38 military can openers. You can't go wrong with this. This huge pack for $16, I have these everywhere. Again, you don't want to get caught without a can opener. And having a way to cook or at least heat your food is an amazing thing. For $28, you can get this dual fuel, both propane and butane stove. These are great, by the way, not just simply for camping and stuff, but for disasters. But I also keep lots of extra butane for this purpose. Make sure you pick up a lot of this so you have lots of extras. We have lots of forest around the house, so I choose to get a BioLite. In fact, I have lots of these BioLites. Fantastic. You put wood in here, it becomes a rocket stove. This battery right here pushes air into it to get your fire started. And then once the fire really gets going, it will charge the battery back up and charge your devices, including this one has a nice lamp so you can see what you're cooking. And getting a fire started couldn't be easier with this waterproof electric lighter. I really like these, by the way. They work very, very well, and you don't have to search for extra fuel. And since they're rechargeable, they'll, practically speaking, always keep going for you. Or maybe you prefer good old-fashioned flint and steel. Well, how about a Flint Striker for $6, less than $6. These are great. I always have these for backup as well. And to be able to handle the situation, and we use it for camping too. $30 has this huge kitchen set, everything you'll need to be able to rough it. And you don't want to use your regular pots and pans on those, so instead here is a camping cookware set for $34. Has lots of different attachments to it to be able to make your food for the entire family. Keeping warm obviously can be life-saving. Here's a 12-pack of emergency Mylar thermal blankets. We keep these everywhere in bags and cars just in case. $9.49 for this 12-pack. That's good. And you can get those chemical hand warmers, which are great, but they're one-time use. Here you can get a 2-pack of rechargeable hand warmers. These are nice. Keeping your hands, even feet warm too, by the way, is essential and makes everything work out much better in a disaster. And also in extreme cold weather, you want to have things like a 0-degree sleeping bag, nice and warm. This is a big and tall one, so it fits everybody, but I still use layers, however, but I would certainly have a very cold weather sleeping bag. And if you want something smaller for emergencies, here's some emergency bivvies. These are really small. This is a 2-pack where literally it becomes like a little sleeping bag, or at least a cover to be able to keep you warm. The same goes with these emergency ponchos. Here's a 4-pack. We always have these, by the way, because we're always caught out in adventures and stuff in rain. But if we're talking about a natural disaster and emergency, a lot of times it rains. $16 for 4 of these, that is a fantastic deal. And although I'm sure you have a regular tent, having these life tents work well too. It keeps the elements off your head in emergencies. Here's a 2-pack. And keeping cool in disasters and emergencies is worth its weight in gold. $49. I modeled this fan. It's called the F11. It is a fantastic fan, no pun intended, that has a huge battery in it, and it lasts a long time in keeping you cool. I literally have one at my desk right now that I use all the time. $49.99. Now, you'll have to keep this charged up with, like, for example, a solar generator. But if you don't have a solar generator, or you just want a standalone fan, this one has 20,000 milliamp hours. I use this one all the time too on my desk. $23 with the solar panel attached. Very nice. Obviously, without it being said, first aid is essential as well. Here's a 450-piece large first aid kit. Has lots and lots of the basic things you'll need. It's a great place to start, by the way. And I always tell everybody to make sure they buy a lot of bulk to add on to their kit. And there's no better time than prime to pick up a lot of your bulk over-the-counter medications. Here's standard Ibuprofen, 500 tablets for $10. For $5, 200 count Acetaminophen. And for $3 for 24 count, do not forget this, anti-diarrheal medication. This literally could save your life. $10 for 1,000 of allergy relief medications, antihistamines. $7 for adult low-dose 81 milligrams aspirin, 500 count. And $5 for a 4-pack of hydrocortisone cream. Keep away those disaster itchies. And less than $6 for a 4-pack of triple antibiotic ointment for those cuts. And to also ward off infection, $6 for a large bottle of povidone iodine. This is the solution, by the way, to clean cuts out. For a nuclear event, look at this. $8 for 150 tablets of the 130 milligram potassium iodide. Very cool. You can always look through my nuclear videos to see how to use this, but I would still stock up and have a couple of these in your house. So essential and so important. Here's Pedialyte. We're talking about 3 packs, 8 packs per set. So $18 for this. It's not just for kids, by the way. It's for kids and adults to make sure you have all the hydration you need. And one of my favorite items I talk about, 580 pieces of compressed towels. 580 of these. $19.51. They're about the size of a washcloth. These are great. Only $9.99 for this multi-tool. It's really nice. 14-in-1 multi-tool. And wearing out your hands or getting cut is a very real possibility. So $9.34 for a really good pair of men or women's mechanical working gloves. It's also very possible fires will start also during your natural disaster. Here's a 6-pack of fire extinguishers for $54.99 and a 4-pack of fire blankets to be able to put out those small fires. Also essential too, especially if the power's out, here's a 4-pack of carbon monoxide and carbon dioxide detectors that are battery powered. And for only $8, a survival tool to shut off the main gas to your house. This could be vital. In case of fire or flooding, for $22, you can get a 3-pack of waterproof, fireproof bags. I always keep my documents in these. $18 for an advanced military compass. GPS may be down, so you have to go to Compass and Maps to be able to find out where you're going. This is a great deal. Less than $18 for a pair of pretty advanced long-range 2-way radios, walkie-talkies. Perfect for you and your family or neighbors. Again, same thing, rechargeable. Really good. Or $19 for 2 of these more simpler ones, which are also rechargeable. $55 for a Wolf tactical backpack with a CCW area to be able to carry your weapon. This is perfect to be able to keep all these supplies in case an emergency or disaster happens. And for only $8.50, a 6-in-1 pocket knife sharpener and survival tool. It also has a sharpening rod and a ferro rod to start fires. These are great. And we can't forget all of our four-legged friends. So we have dog and cat. It says it's airline approved for travel, which is good, but it does put everything in one location to be able to keep all your dogs and cats going during disasters also. And finally, 9 out of 10 coffee drinkers approve that having coffee during disaster would be helpful. Okay, probably 10 out of 10. For $12.79, a very simple percolator. Of course, you get the good old-fashioned percolation going through it too, which calms nerves and relaxes you. So lots of items, lots of emergency items that you must have in case there is a disaster or emergency that hits you or your area. Perfect for your family. So we are Amazon affiliates. If you do click on the links, which we put all these below, we'll get a portion of the sale. Your price doesn't change. So it's a win-win. It really helps our channel out and helps our family out, and we say thank you for that. But besides that, I always recommend getting these items and have these in stock for disasters and emergencies because, you know, they always happen. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time.